Phill.
My ex-husband is a compulsive liar.
He's malicious. He is mean.
He's demon-possessed.
A college professor faces a firing squad of his exes.
6 months into our marriage, why did you start contacting other women on the internet?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Why did he call you the girl from the gutter?
He introduced me as his fiance.
She thought we were engaged. I didn't believe we were engaged. I didn't say that.
Did you give Tanya the ring you bought for Julie?
Yes.
I'm glad he didn't marry me.
Are you a stripper?
Yeah, I danced. So what? You knew that before.
You didn't tell me until 3 months after we were married.
Loved it. Are you kidding me? It was just more to love about you. That's so exciting. Please, are you kidding me?
Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'll try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you.
Go, Dr. Phill.
Winston says he was immediately smitten the first time he saw Tanya's profile on an online dating site. He thought Tanya was the all-American girl next door, vivacious, confident, and very sexy. The two had a whirlwind courtship. All the while, another woman, Julie, claimed she was engaged to Winston before he kicked her out and took her engagement ring and gave it to Tanya, who he married after just 4 months of dating. But their storybook wedding did not end happily ever after. Just 6 months into their marriage, they both say they filed for divorce. Now, Tanya says the man who represented himself as a Christian professor of a prestigious university turned out to be a master manipulator and a low-down, dirty liar.
The man that I met online is master manipulator. He uses his status as a Christian professor to gain favor and trust of other women. He makes himself out to be an amazing man. It was all lies. I am not going to sell my soul to the devil. When we started spending consolidated time together is when I recognized that something was off with him. Winston would have some outbursts. There was one night that we were in bed and he got up and hovered over me and he screamed, "Shut the up." That scared me. I discovered that even on the eve of our wedding, he was in touch with other women and pursuing other women, and that he was still engaging in dialogue with other women while we were married. I became suspicious when I saw some interaction on his Facebook. It was a message and said, "Nice picture, and I'll call you when my parents leave." I confronted him about it and he wrote it off, and I didn't have any right to confront him anymore about it. I became suspicious that he was possibly spending a lot of money online, engaging in porn in chat rooms. Winston pretty much denied everything. I didn't trust him anymore. Winston is ill. He's malicious. He is mean. He is greedy. I think he is capable of causing great harm to others. I feel raped by him. I feel his handprints are still on me.
Okay. Now, you two met online, and it was a long-distance relationship, right?
Yes.
What attracted you to him online?
He was charming. He represented somebody that was trustworthy, and his profession and the way that he shared with me his fathering and just everything he presented to me was somebody that I was looking for.
Okay, but when he got there, you said you didn't find him attractive.
No.
He was heavier. He just didn't, it wasn't the type you would normally think about, but you liked his values, you liked what he represented.
Yeah.
So you spend a week together.
Yeah.
You go up to a lake, and at the end of that time, he leaves and says, "You're the one."
Mm-hmm.
And you said at that point you were head over heels. You had fallen.
I thought he was the one. I thought, oh my gosh, this just cemented everything that we had gotten to know about each other online.
Yeah. How long was it after that that this other woman pops up? Because you're texting him, right?
We're back and forth. Yeah, sure.
And you're texting him one night, and he doesn't answer. Somebody else answers.
It was actually, it was in the morning, I think, and we had been communicating just a tad bit, and then all of a sudden I get, this is Julie, and I've been with him for a couple of years, and we're traveling now. And my heart dropped, and I just texted back, who's this or what's this about, question mark. And then I got back another text message that said, never mind her.
Well, but when she responded the first time, she said, I'm his fiance.
Fiance or girlfriend, whatever it was. Yeah, I know that they were engaged. That I know now is that they were engaged.
Then he's right back to you saying, never mind her. And he smooths it over, says he's getting rid of her. She's a problem, been trying to get rid of her. They're just friends.
He just can't bring it to himself to kick her out.
She's just living with him and won't move out. And
yeah.
I hate it when that happens, yeah. Okay, so you get married, and you say the day after you got married, it's like he switched gears.
He became a different person. He gets into this mood and he becomes a different person. He slouches over or he huffs away, and he's a victim all of a sudden of everybody that is around him for some reason. I can't explain it.
So you said soon after you got married, you discovered he had money issues, porn issues, food issues. You thought he was maybe a sex addict, had mental illness.
Yep. What he presented to me was completely the opposite of who he really is.
And you bought a house together.
Yes, we bought a house together.
You thought.
Yeah, I thought.
And you understand, he tells a very different story.
I'm telling you it is.
You said this was just an investment. You said it was a marital home.
If it was an investment, then why did he move us into the house? If it was an investment, then why did he write an email to his mother, a letter to his mother when he was looking for money and explaining how I'm taking care of the projects and the utilities? If it was an investment, why was it that I was taking blueberry bushes from our family farm and transplanting them on that property? If it was an investment, can I keep going? If it was an investment, then why is it that he let my kids pick out carpeting that he typically wouldn't pick out when he has a flip? If it was an investment, why did he let them pick out paint? I can keep going on, but that's only opinion. I have facts. I have data.
I kind of wrote down a list of the lies you say he told. You said he did not put Tanya's name on the deed of the house, even though he said he would, right?
Yes.
Okay. That he communicated with other women online, even though he said he would not have these connections with these female friends.
I'm the only woman, which I would expect to be.
He did not reimburse Tanya $35,000 to $40,000 for work on the house. This is work you did.
Pre-separation.
Right. Mm-hmm. Those are the main things that you said were just flat out, straight up lies.
And I can prove every bit of it. Every bit of it.
Well, Tanya's husband says he thought she was the all-American girl next door until he found out that she had a very dark side. Well, we're going to meet him. We're going to find out what he says Tanya was hiding right after the break.
Tanya has a history of having affairs with married men. I had my investigator go talk to the neighbors, found out that when she was dating me, she was, involved with other men. Tanya is a gold-digging man-eater.
Winston is despicable. I can never forgive Winston for being the con that he is. I allowed myself to believe him and gave my heart to him. What Winston is doing is morally and ethically wrong. It's just disgusting.
Tanya says her husband Winston presented himself as a Christian professor, at a prestigious university, but he's really a master manipulator who she says is worse than a thug on the street. But Winston says it's really his wife who is deceptive and kept secrets about her past.
Tanya is a predator, a gold-digging man-eater. Tanya presented herself as the girl next door. She said that she had been a businesswoman in insurance and real estate. She was a farmer's daughter. The thing that I'm most angry at Tanya about is the fact that I was in love with a person that didn't exist. Tanya has a history of having affairs with married men. I had my investigator go talk to the neighbors. Found out that when she was dating me, she was, involved with other men. Neighbors described her house as having a revolving door with men going in and out all the time. Tanya is a liar. Valentine's Day, she says, I was a dancer. And my initial reaction was like, Arthur Murray? And she said, no, I was a go-go dancer. I found out she not only had danced in topless bars, strip clubs, but she had done that for 18 years. I felt like I wanted to go throw up. Tanya has filed police reports against me. She filed one for perjury, which is kind of interesting because it's something that happens when you're in the courtroom, and I've never testified in this case. The second one is for theft by deception. She's essentially saying that I'm trying to steal my house from her. The house that I bought with my money, that's in my name, that's why the police wouldn't do anything about it. I'm a college professor. She called my employer 4 times. She kept harassing them, and they didn't renew my contract. So did she have a hand in me losing my job? Of course she did. Tanya's made my life a living hell. I mean, she's cost me my job. She's trying to steal my house from me. She basically took advantage of me the way she's taken advantage of other men in her life. I just realized that this was a complete heist.
Well, Winston, how did you miss it so bad? If she is a gold-digging man-eater that is ripping you off, how did you miss it so bad?
Because of how she presented herself to me, just like she did to you today. Wearing conservative clothing, being conservative, having values, having a farm, being a farmer's daughter, that she was the team mom, she was the girl next door.
You say she presented herself very differently.
Yes, sir.
And she says the same thing about you.
Absolutely.
But you found out, just factually, are you a stripper, go-go dancer for 18 years?
When I was agile, I danced for about 10 years on and off while I was doing other things, going to school, modeling, and I've been a businesswoman until I was in a car accident after that. So, yeah, I danced. So what?
Well, Dr.
Is
Phill,
that a bad? Was that a deal breaker for you?
There's no lies there. You knew that before.
No, I didn't.
Oh.
Tanya. You told me 3 months after we were married that you were a dancer.
That's your memory, but I've never had any reason to tell anybody that I've ever had any significant relationship with was
No, I did
told
not.
that.
Did you ask her to dance for you? You liked that and
No,
asked
sir.
her to dance for you?
No, sir.
That's another lie.
So once you got married to her, what changed?
Everything. Literally, the day after we got married, we would talk on the phone for hours. We would pray together. We would do a devotional together. We would go to church virtually. Literally, after we got married, all that stopped. You know, she was too tired. She was too busy. It all stopped.
And this Julie that you had living in your house while you were getting engaged to her, Julie was still living there?
No, that's absolutely false.
She was not living there.
She was not.
She had moved out by then?
Yes, sir.
He kicked her out a couple weeks before that.
Okay. And did you give her the ring you bought for Julie?
No, I did. Let's put it this way. I bought a ring. I never gave it to Julie, and I never asked Julie to marry me. I used the same ring when I proposed to Tanya, yes.
You denied that, though, didn't you?
I was never engaged to Julie.
Well, you said you bought the ring with the intention of giving it to Julie, but then you couldn't go through with it. You said on 2 different occasions you wanted to ask her, but you just couldn't bring yourself to do it.
No, the voice in my head said, don't do it.
You said you just chickened out, couldn't do it.
No, it wasn't chickening out. It was, this is not the right person.
Well, that's what I mean.
Don't marry this person. Don't propose to this person. And when I proposed to Tanya, Julie was long gone.
A whole 2 weeks before that.
Okay. And you said that Julie when she moved there, she moved down just kind of as a roommate?
Her angle was that she needed a place to stay while she looked for a job. She offered to take care of my 89-year-old mother and be a live-in caretaker for her, and suggested that, you know, I buy a larger house so that there would be a room for my mother and she could take care of my mother.
Okay. But then it did get physical.
And
romantic.
It got romantic, and there was intimacy, but it was
You told me there wasn't, by the way.
It was short-lived, and it didn't amount to much. The relationship was she was more like a roommate. I was never engaged to Julie, period.
Now, you said while you were going back and forth with her, you found out before or after you married her that she was hitting on the snowplow guy?
That was after we were married.
What
After
snowplow
you were
guy?
married. Were you hitting on the snowplow man?
Oh, my gosh, no. No. Absolutely, unequivocally, no. I don't lie.
Yes, you did, Tanya. You didn't tell me that you were a dancer until 3 months after we were married.
You loved it. Are you kidding me? It was just more to love about you. That's so exciting. Please, please, are you kidding me?
Did you find a Facebook post on his Facebook from a girl that said, "Nice picture, I'll call you after my parents leave"?
Yes. It was a private message.
Yeah.
Spam, Dr.
course
Phill.
it was spam, all spam.
You know, it was something that something that you get on Facebook where people are advertising. I didn't delete it because she saw it, but I mean, it was not. I didn't know the person. It was just one of these random messages. Call me and look at my pictures. Those type of things. That happens when you're on that. She's an absolute liar. I have not done any porn. I am not addicted to porn. I told her I had never been to a strip club, which is probably why I didn't recognize the fact that she'd been a dancer for 18 years.
You mean you'd never seen her?
Keep going.
No, I've never been to a strip club. I still haven't been to a strip club. The closest thing I've come is my wife.
Because you do it in the dark. You do it in the dark, that's why. Because you hide who you are. You hide who you are. And just because, Winston, just because you say all the things that you said and you're a Christian professor and you're respectable and a mentor, or you're supposed to be, it doesn't mean it's true. And I have every bit of information to prove that all these things that you've been saying about me are not true. And just because you say them, it doesn't mean that it's true. I don't lie.
Yes, you did, Tanya. You didn't tell me that you were a dancer until 3 months after we were married.
You loved it. Are you kidding me? It was just more to love about you. That's so exciting. Please, please, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Oh, my word. Why would I lie?
Tanya, you could have been a pretty good dancer, but we were married for 6 months. That figures out to be about $6,000 a day. And I sure as hell don't believe you're a $6,000 a day dancer.
Neither do I.
Are you
Just so
saying
you
that he
know.
knew you had been a dancer before?
I told him before we were. Are you kidding? Yes, I let him know before. Yes.
Dr.
I lay everything on the table. Honesty. I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, but I'm not a liar. I'm not a liar.
No, she's not a liar because she didn't tell me the things. She didn't tell me that she was in an 8-year relationship with a married man.
So you told him that you told him you'd been a dancer?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And have you
Because
been...
I thought it all should be on the table.
Okay, and what was his reaction?
He was excited by it. He was excited by it.
Yeah. Did he ask you to dance for him?
Not that moment. Not that moment he didn't, but he did ask me to dance for him at different times, and I just
Dr. Phill,
wasn't comfortable
let's jump
with
in
it.
here and say, like she said, she told the truth, but she didn't tell the whole truth. She didn't tell me she was involved with an 8-year relationship with a married man while she was still married to her first husband. She didn't tell me that she broke up 3 marriages. She didn't tell me. She told me the 1-year relationship with the guy that she was engaged to happened to be a 5-year relationship, and she broke up his marriage.
I did not. Are you kidding me? Oh, boy, get your facts straight. You know what? I am so sick and tired of you trying to throw anything out there, just hoping that it sticks. You know why you do this? Because you don't want anybody to look into your world. And you've gotten away with this up until now, Winston. Up until now, you've gotten away with it. I'm letting you know you don't make a deal with me because you're not going to find crap on me. I am standing up for myself.
I don't have to find the crap. I've already found it.
I'm standing up for everybody else in your little bag of goodies.
Were you completely forthcoming with her about
Absolutely.
you and yourself?
This is why she can attack me.
You left nothing out.
No, sir, I did not. I was totally
honest.
honest. I told her about the things that happened to me in college, that I flunked out of the Air Force Academy, after 2 years of college. I told her that, that was a huge thing to me to go to the academy and then flunk out academically because I couldn't do math. But
you didn't tell me that, actually. You told me it was because of your feet or something like that. Flat feet or something.
Well, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we've talked about her. Now we're going to meet the woman who says she was Winston's fiancée until he met Tanya. She says, no, he didn't fall short of asking her. In fact, she says he promised her he was going to marry her. We're going to find out why Julie says that Winston defrauded her morally, financially, in every possible way. We'll be right back.
Winston portrayed himself as a man of God, but he's really demon-possessed. He's a user and a thief and a liar, and he's very proficient at it.
When I proposed to Tanya, there was no one in my life. Tanya accused me of being engaged to Julie. That's kind of like the pot calling a kettle black because she's someone who has gotten involved with married men and broken up marriages. This is not about me being a bad guy. This is about me being a guy who fell in love with somebody that didn't exist and fighting for my life now. If she could, she would basically remove the male parts of my anatomy as part of this process. And I'm not going to let her do it.
Winston says he was never engaged to Julie and considered her more of a roommate who he did not want to be around. But Julie says Winston is a liar and not only moved her into his house, but promised they would get married in 3 months. That was before he met Tanya. Kicked Julie to the curb and even took her engagement ring back and used it to propose to Tanya.
Winston is a user and a thief and a liar, and he's very proficient at it. Winston portrayed himself as a man of God, but he's really demon-possessed. I first met Winston online dating. The first time he told me he loved me, it was pretty early on in the relationship. He had promised me that we'd be married within 3 months. Winston ended our engagement by sending me a text message that said, "It's over." When Winston kicked me out, I felt so unbelievably betrayed. He was so calculating and manipulative without any remorse. I still feel scarred. Winston makes me want to rip his head off.
Don't feel sorry for him.
I don't.
Stand up for yourself.
Well, this is the first time all three of these people have been in one room together, and these two seem to have formed an alliance. Apparently, Winston. Julie, I'm glad you're here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here, too.
You are telling, we've talked about you before you were here.
I heard it all, and I just want to say that Tanya was pretty accurate in all of her statements. When I learned about Tanya, Winston and I had already been engaged since August of 2011. It was August 14th, to be exact. He introduced me as his fiancée to other people, neighbors, the dean of the university.
Why, if she thought we were engaged, I didn't believe we were engaged. I didn't say that.
Did you lead her to believe you were on a marriage path?
She led herself to believe we were on a marriage path. I did not make that commitment to her.
So you said I wanted to propose to her because she kept the house clean and forced herself in. That's a quote from you.
Well, I was thinking about it. I was considering
That's
would
a
I.
quote.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was considering would I settle in this relationship for this person who was a friend and was helpful and was not, you know, I thought was sweet.
I'm not judging
I'm
you on
glad
that.
he didn't marry me.
Okay, I understand. I'm not saying that you don't have the right to change your mind, and she's happy you did. She's got a list of 26 things she hates about you.
Yeah, including counting how many seconds I brush my teeth.
And you don't take a shower long enough.
Dr. Phill, based on that list, I wouldn't want to marry me either.
Well,
all those conditions
really
didn't exist when I met him.
Did you really time his showers?
Yes, and brushing his teeth, because that was something that was a must. I must have good hygiene, oral hygiene and physical hygiene.
But you said he only showered for 7 minutes?
Yes, and that included like having the water warm up if he wanted it to warm up.
Yeah, but that's okay.
And like, how do you wash such a big body in such a little bit of time?
Julie and Tanya aren't the only women who have had something to say about Winston. Oh, no. There's more. When his first wife heard we were doing the show, she wrote in and said, "Sign me up." She'll join the party when we come back.
I want Winston to be held accountable for what he's done and show the world who he really is. I want him to be held accountable because he hurts people and he doesn't care. He belongs in jail. He doesn't care what happens to me. He doesn't care what happens to anybody else that stands in the way of his evil. I'm gonna fight this monster.
Tanya has threatened criminal prosecutions against me. She and Julie have threatened to sue me civilly. So it's no surprise that Julie shows up on the show. It's no surprise that Julie shows up in Tanya's court pleadings with her statement about what a bad guy I am. I think Julie is using Tanya to get back at me. If hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, what do you call two women scorned? A nightmare.
Well, that was Winston talking about two women scorned. So what would he call three women scorned? Because we're adding another woman to the mix. Winston's ex-wife, Kelly, says her ex-husband is a compulsive liar who would not admit he cheated even after she caught him. And his stepdaughter, Marissa, says Winston has even taken her to meet his mistress.
My ex-husband, Winston, is a compulsive liar. He couldn't tell the truth even if he tried.
My stepdad, Winston, he manipulates women. He lies to them. He steals from them. I've been a first-hand witness for my mom, and I've just seen him do all of these things, and they're all true.
I was married to Winston for almost 3 years, and after 6 months, I found out he was contacting other women on the internet. I found emails saying they wanted to meet up and how he was unhappy in his marriage. It broke my heart when he did it. It was just too much for me to take.
One time when I was 9 years old, he actually took me to meet with one of his lovers. I just wanted my mom to get a divorce after that. That's my mom he's cheating on.
Before I could get a divorce, he pressured me into giving him $300,000 for his share in the real estate that we purchased with my money. I feel what Winston is going through with Tanya right now is what he did to me, and it's karma coming back to him.
I think we need to get my attorney up here.
Sure, we can have Michonne up here. Happy to have you.
Thank you.
And appreciate your being here. You just chime in anytime.
I'm going to chime in right now.
All right, go ahead.
Dr. Phill, my biggest concern is these two have a child together. And as a family practitioner, I don't want to see anything said on air that could hurt that child. How
long has it been since you two have been divorced?
It's been 10 years, 11 years?
11 years.
Yeah, okay. I think we're way past a relevant time window. I mean, at this point, do you two have an active relationship?
I think that we have a good relationship. I have no animosity towards Winston.
Yeah, that's why
think he's a good
I kind of
fan.
know what you're going to say. That's why I think you have a good relationship with him. I think Marissa also has a good relationship with him. Yeah. So I don't think they're here to character assassinate, although they don't...
They just did. They just said that he was a liar.
Kelly, why do you say he is a pathological liar?
I say that because during our marriage, it was just one lie after another. And even any time I confronted him, after 6 months of marriage, I found out that he was contacting other women on the internet. I had it in black and white printed out. And I said, what's this? Oh, that's nothing, it's all you, it's all in your mind.
He told me the same thing. You're overreacting.
He was always turning it around and saying it was me.
Why did he call you the girl from the gutter?
Let me give you the quote. He called me the girl from the gutter with money in one of his yelling rages. And years later, I still feel the girl from the gutter with money. Okay. That's what you said to me.
Kelly, I'm sorry I said that to you. I'm sorry if I offended you. I apologize. I'll say this right now in front of this whole audience. You've been a wonderful mother to our daughter. You have given her a stable home, and you have made her into a wonderful girl, and you've done a wonderful job. I appreciate that, and if I hurt you, I'm sorry.
Well, I have a question. Why did you find it necessary 6 months into our marriage to start contacting other women on the internet?
Kelly, I don't know who you're talking about.
I showed you the emails. What's
Kelly,
this,
I don't
Winston?
remember who you were talking about.
I saw the email. Actually, I found it this summer, and it was from a woman, blonde, the email, and it was saying about how she was excited to meet you and she thought about you at night. That's true. I'm here, Winston, because I think you have a problem with women on the internet, and I really care about you, and I really want you to find help or something. Obviously, all these women are saying you're a cheater, and I didn't even know that was Julie. I've met so many women that I've maybe met 6 different women. You've been engaged to another one besides these ones.
Tanya says Winston portrays himself as a pillar in the community, but is he really just something else? We'll talk about that after the break.
The paperwork.
I could never forgive Winston. I think what Winston is doing is a violation to women. He says he loves women, but he behaves in a way that he hates them.
Tanya says her husband Winston is the exact opposite of the upstanding Christian professor he portrays himself to be. Now she says she has joined forces with his ex-fiancée, Julie, to expose Winston for the imposter they claim he is and want to make sure he does not continue to victimize other women.
This whole situation is about the house and the divorce. The divorce has lasted longer than our marriage.
Twice.
And Tanya was never on the deed to the house. I bought the house with my money.
Purchase and sale. Who was on the purchase and sale?
Tanya,
Who was on that?
Tanya went to the auction to buy the house representing me. Based on her theory, every time I use a real estate agent and they write up a contract, they can have my house. That's her theory. It was my money that bought the house.
Theory.
I'm on the deed to the house. I have been on the deed to the house.
Okay, now,
and I want one question, Dr. Phill.
Okay.
Would she have married me if she wasn't getting the house?
I would like an answer to that.
Are you kidding me?
Well, Dr. Phill, I'm not here about the house. I'm here about Winston.
All 3 of these women have one thing in common. They all wanted more from Winston, property-wise, than he was willing to give them, and they're all mad.
That's not true at all. He stole from me.
It was a house that we put in an offer. It was a house we put in an offer that he wanted to move our family into, and I said I'd rather stay in our house.
Yeah, I'm not here to mediate property,
so you're wrong.
And you're a lawyer also, right?
Yes, sir.
And was he a lawyer when he was married to you?
He was the dean of a law school and got fired, and I felt that's why he came out, was that he was defamed, and I felt like
careful about
I
using
was
words
the one.
like that,
I was kind of like his.
What?
Fired. I mean, we can't.
He was fired. It was all over the newspapers,
It was all
on
over
the
the
covers.
news. Well,
What are you
in
talking
my
about?
observation, that's what happened, was that he was fired
Well, here's
for
what was in
plagiarism.
the LA Times. A week after dismissing Winston as dean of law school official, said Thursday they also intend to fire him from the faculty because he engaged in plagiarism for an article in the school's law review.
Yes, sir.
That was in
the LA Times.
And you resigned, right?
They bought out my contract. I resigned.
$400,000, right?
There was no plagiarism.
There was no plagiarism.
Just because he wasn't charged with plagiarism didn't mean he didn't
so then 3 months
plagiarize.
later, there was this article, Winston dismissed as dean of law school after being accused of plagiarism, has resigned as a tenured faculty member. School officials had said they intended to fire him from his teaching position once the faculty senate made a recommendation to the university's board of regents.
Dr. Phill, the university.
That's what they said.
That's the LA Times.
Right. I'm just saying so you can now respond to that.
I have the letter from the president of the university that said that they settled with me and I left the university voluntarily. It was a voluntary resignation. They didn't force me out. And we came to an agreement. They gave me a golden handshake, and we both went on our way, and he wished me well. That's what happened. The LA Times did not report that. I was accused of plagiarism. I've had to live with that for my life. You asked Tanya, she knew about it because I told her about it. You asked Julie, she knew about it because I told her about it.
But I didn't know that he would look at other women on the internet prior to finding out. I want to say something.
Go ahead.
Prior to finding out about Tanya, I found in his history 37 different women that he had, I don't know what degree of communication or viewing, but there were a history.
Okay,
Dr. Phill, I was single for 42 years. I am sure I have dated.
When she was living with you?
No, while you were living with me.
Yes, I was single when she was living with me.
Sleeping in the same bed.
We have to take a break, and then I'm going to come back and make a strong recommendation. We'll be right back. Kelly wanted a clarification. No, I didn't want anything from him property-wise. He took from me. I didn't want from him. You wanted a clarification. I made it. And Winston, you know, the best predictor of future behavior is relevant past behavior.
Yes, sir.
And you don't have a great relationship track record. Just based on results.
Yes, sir.
And despite your legal advocate over here, I'm not talking about legal aspects. Relationship-wise, you don't have the best track record. And I suspect that you have a difficult time with intimacy. And there is a huge difference between falling in love and being in love.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of people love falling in love because it's exciting and there's fireworks and, you know, it's that exhilaration of falling in love. And being in love is more predictable. There's sameness. There's a rhythm to it. It's not worse. It's just different.
Safety.
I don't know if that's you, but I know this. You don't stay. For whatever reason, you're not there long term. And the point is, you don't have to be in a relationship to be okay. I've said a million times, I'd rather be healthy alone than sick with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's where I am right now.
do you want to say something to him?
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, I've got one word for everybody here, and that's prenup.
Okay,
but I'm just a lawyer, what do I know?
For all the rest of you at home, let me just say that there comes a point where you got to say, you know, there's a time to fight, and there's a time to say, you know what, it's in my best interest to move on. And maybe you cut your losses. Maybe you say, you know what, maybe I take some lumps on this one and maybe I move on. But if you think for a minute that you're going to undo pain and hurt by getting a pound of flesh through the litigation arena, that's not going to happen. And the best revenge is living well. I want to thank all of my guests today. Log on to drphill.com and share your thoughts on our message boards. We'll see you next time.
Today on Dr. Phill, she moved in with him.
From my waterfront condo in Florida to a shoebox in New York.
But are they ready to tie the knot?
She stole your BMW?
I said I'm going to a class reunion, and I'm not going into hoopty. She almost ran me over taking the BMW.
Fighting fiancés.
I never made that promise.
Please tell the truth.
Why are y'all even almost sort of kind of getting married? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've hurt long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Do you ever feel like when you fall in love and marry one person, you then get them home and find out, whoa, this is not the deal I signed up for? You fall in love with Shamar Moore, but then you wake up next to Tyler Perry's Uncle John. Well, that's what Cheryl says happened when she decided to merge her life with her fiancé, Owen. Owen is an optometrist who says he makes up to $500,000 a year. In the beginning, he wined and dined Cheryl, flying her on weekend trips to New York to visit. She was so head over heels in love that she gave up her oceanfront condo in Florida to merge her life with his. But when she landed in New York, she got a rude awakening.
My fiance convinced me to move from my beautiful waterfront condo in Florida to a shoebox of an apartment in New York. We met in Florida. He was vacationing with some friends, and kind of that little love at first sight thing. The long distance relationship in the beginning was great. We did see each other quite a bit. Owen would fly down quite often. He did fly me into New York every other weekend. I was very happy. He did talk to me about moving to New York with him and the kids. At that point, he had already asked me to marry him 1,000 times. It did take a little convincing. I enjoy my Florida living, but since we were talking about marriage and our future, it seemed like the smart thing to do. He is an optometrist. He's making money, and he said everything would be fine. I was under the impression that when I moved to New York, we were going to find a bigger place. It didn't happen. I went from a California king-size bed to sleeping on a futon. This was not the rosy picture I was painted. I asked myself several times, what in the hell did I get into? I lived in New York for a year before I decided I can't take any more. I have to go. I'm currently living back in Florida in a not desirable neighborhood. So this is where I'm temporarily staying until I get back on my feet. I had a beautiful place. That was my place right there, 4th floor, the beautiful view looking over the canal. I gave up everything to be with Owen. And now, I have nothing.
Well, Owen says, not so fast. This bait and switch can work both ways, according to him, because he says that as soon as she got there, they started fighting because she had no job, no money, and a ton of expectations. Take a look.
When I met Cheryl, it was love at first sight. I was just captivated. I told Cheryl I wanted to marry her. She said yes. But currently, my relationship with Cheryl is a little on the rocks. Cheryl expects me to pay for everything. Cheryl was having a very difficult time managing her finances in Florida. She was back and forth with courts and about to lose her place. When Cheryl and I made the decision to have her move to New York, it was a no-brainer. She was going to be homeless anyway. After she moved to New York, our communication issue became apparent. The argument started. Cheryl did start to become resentful because of the fact that I financially couldn't give her the things that she wanted. She wanted to move, but like I told her from the beginning, as well as when she was here, it wasn't financially feasible. Sleeping in the futon in the living room caused many arguments. My neck, my back, my this, my that. I couldn't take it. And I said, hon, maybe we should buy a bed and put it in the living room. I think I shouldn't have said that because that caused a gigantic argument. Before she moved, no promises were made. I love this woman like no other. And many times I feel no matter what I do, it's just not good enough.
Okay, when you came out, you were going, What's your about?
I was calm in the back, and then I saw her preliminary video, and I was like, no, it can't be. Come on. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it honest. That's not how it was.
Well, so how was it?
Financially, like he stated, it was better for me to move to New York for financial reasons, to save money, to get prepared for the wedding.
But you had a job, right?
Did I have a job?
In Florida?
Yes, I did.
And you had a place?
I had a place.
And then you moved to New York. Did you think she would have a job when she moved to New York, or she was going to have to find one?
No, she already had a job set up.
Set up?
The job promised her $60,000. So it was a no-brainer on her part. That actually was the kicker that made her decide to come to New York.
You told me, hon, oh, this is a no-brainer. You come to New York, and you can work in my office, and I will pay you what you're making in Florida.
She actually gave us a list of what she says are your lies. She said you agreed to pay Cheryl to work in his optometry office, then said, well, I can't afford to pay that. Would get a bigger place after Cheryl moved to New York, then said, no money. Told family Cheryl's living a good life in New York, and they didn't know Cheryl was sleeping on a futon. Told friends Cheryl stole his BMW. Told cousin that Cheryl stole 20 grand from him. So that's the list of lies. You said this is just a beginning. There were others, but you said those were the big ones. Did you do that?
Can you read each one again and then I can respond?
I'd be happy to. Agreed to pay Cheryl to work in his optometry office, then said couldn't afford to pay.
I never made that promise, and that was a...
You never made that promise?
I never
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, the Oscar for the best liar goes to Owen. Thank you.
Dr. Phill, I'm a numbers cruncher, okay? I know my business in and out. I knew that there is no way that my optometry practice could support her salary. First of all, her coming to New York wasn't because of the promise of working at the practice. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, she came to New York because when we were talking, she said, this job is guaranteeing me $60,000. It's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. It's 3 times what you're making in Florida. So I said, hon, of course come. You know what I'm saying? It's a no-brainer. But the thing is, we were back and forth deliberating. Do I go to Florida? Does she come to New York? And I told her, the only thing that stopped me from going to Florida wait, hold on.
You could not come to Florida.
Right, but that's what I'm about to tell him. I could not come to Florida.
That was not
Why?
in the conversation
Why
in the
I couldn't come to Florida?
It was always just
Why
me
couldn't
coming
you come to Florida?
It's because in optometry school, we have 3 national boards that we have to take. Florida has their own version of those 3. It's a no-brainer. I'm not going to go down there and retake those 3 tests. I'm 14 years out of school. I'm not going to go back and study to do that just to be in Florida. You know what I'm saying? So that was the main thing that made us decide, can I go to Florida?
You keep pushing your glasses up. You should get those to fit.
I know you want to get me on that. I know you want to get me. No,
I'm just saying. No, that'd be like me sitting up here with a tick and I don't do anything about it.
No, you know what it is? Because when they did the taping at the house, they kept on me saying, Doc, keep your glasses up because of the reflection. So I keep doing it just to make you look good, make us all look good.
Well,
but anyway,
it's working so far. You said you would get a bigger place after Cheryl moved to New York, and then you said no money.
No. Okay.
Is that true or false?
False.
You didn't say you were going to get a bigger place?
Wait. I'm going to explain.
Well, but you can't filibuster. You have to answer the question.
Okay.
You're just going on and on and on.
Exactly.
All right, okay.
Now you're both going on and on and on. Okay. Did you tell her you were going to get a bigger place?
I said, eventually we will get a bigger place. Let's come to New York. Let's solidify, and then let's merge our forces, and then we can get a bigger place.
Is that what he said?
No.
All right. Cheryl says Owen's family is constantly accusing her of being a gold digger. even though she says there's no gold to be dug. But Owen says that he is even starting to question Cheryl's intentions towards his finances. We're going to find out why when we come back.
Cheryl pawned the engagement ring that I gave her in order to fund her way back to Florida and continue her life. You just don't even understand what that ring means. I was so betrayed, so violated. I couldn't believe it.
And later...
But you want to set it straight, let's set it straight, okay? If you want to get real with it, let's get real with it. And you want to say that I'm just gold digger or whatever, like I said, there was no finances.
I would never call you a gold digger. I said everybody else said you are.
Owen's family has said to Owen that he was crazy for putting up with me. They told him, Owen, you are insane. You continue to be with her. It's like, you're insane.
My family thinks nothing highly of Cheryl. My mother doesn't want me with her. My brother for sure doesn't want me with her. And neither does my uncle nor cousin.
Well, despite Owen's family not approving of his bride-to-be, Owen and Cheryl were still moving on with their wedding plans until they hit a major roadblock. Take a look.
We had agreed to have the wedding in Florida.
I said, you and I can go down to the city hall and get married and call it a day. But she said, no, it's not gonna happen that way.
I pictured Owen and I to have a very beautiful wedding. We were gonna have a beach wedding.
I said, okay, you want the big wedding? Let's do it. If that's what you want, then let's do it.
I had already picked out a couple of wedding dresses that I was interested in.
I wouldn't totally rule this one out.
We had already reached out to a wedding coordinator. I had already looked at venues. We had already taken our engagement photos.
I said, hon, how are we funding this? She said, it's on you. I said, it's on me? I tried to give Cheryl a budget of $5,000 to $7,000. She said, $15,000. I said, no, hon, we have a problem here.
So I stopped planning for the wedding.
I overheard her saying, no, there's not gonna be a wedding in October because of financial issues. Calling off the wedding was her idea. When I heard the wedding was called off, it didn't really bother me. I was like, okay, if that's what you want, then that's what you want.
Okay, did you call off the wedding?
I did, but...
Or is this the wedding ring,
It
the
is.
engagement ring? Why are you wearing it if you called off the wedding?
Because he asked me to put it back on in February.
It looks like he did a pretty nice job.
Yes, he did. That was the only thing he spent money on.
6,000, baby.
Did you tell your family she stole 20 grand?
No.
You didn't?
You
Nope.
did not?
No.
You did not tell your cousin that I...
Nope.
Did he tell you that you were the reason that there were no toys at Christmas?
Yes.
So he did tell you that?
Yes, he did tell me that.
So, but you didn't tell your family she stole 20 grand?
Not at all.
Did you tell her that she was the reason that there were no toys for Christmas?
No. My best friend said to me, he said, Owen, since you've met Cheryl, how much do you think you've spent? I said, easy, 20,000, easy.
So
he
what
said,
did your
he said,
cousin come in from
wow.
that?
So now maybe my cousin might have heard the story that I'm telling my buddy, and that's where the 20,000
How would your
popped up.
cousin hear the story when she doesn't even communicate with this guy? She does not even know his phone number. They don't even communicate.
Okay.
So how would she even know that if it did not come from you? Tell the truth for once. Please, tell the truth. Did you not say that I stole money from you?
I said you stole money from me.
That's why your family does not like me, because you continue to tell these stories about me.
Did you tell him she stole your BMW?
Yeah, she did. After a barbecue, she almost ran me over taking the BMW. Of course I said that. Dr. Phill, I'm going to be honest with you. When I said something, I said something.
Okay.
So
I told them
So
that
she
they
stole the BMW, but not the 20 grand?
No, she didn't steal 20,000. She stole an envelope with $1,300 in it, which was my rent money, when she packed up and left. And my,
Let me ask you a question, Dr. Phill, if I may. Who steals someone's... Now, keep in mind, I work for him. I work in his office. I'm his office manager. Who steals someone's car and then come to work Monday morning early before the office even opens and opens the office? But I stole the BMW. But I come to work.
In the BMW?
In the BMW that I stole.
With your $1,300 bucks?
With my $20,000.
Dr. Phill, it was a barbecue. Going to the barbecue, we decided we're gonna drive 2 cars. I have a hoopty, a beat-up car, and my BMW, which is my baby, okay? I said, hun, I'll drive the hoopty to the barbecue. You drive the BMW, but understand that after the barbecue, I'm going to need the BMW because I'm going to a 20-year class reunion, and I'm not going in the hoopty. Okay, so now she said, one of my buddies is talking to me. He's calling me. She said, go talk to your buddy. I'm not going anywhere. I go talk to him. I turn around. She's starting the car. Yeah. So now...
Sucker.
So now...
Hey, go talk to your buddy. I'll be right here.
Now, so the car almost hit me. So then now all my buddies are standing there watching me like... And I'm like, I can't believe this woman took my car. That's what I said. And then we called her the Saturday, the Sunday.
You never called me the whole weekend.
So did you go to your 20-year class reunion in the hoopty?
No. Not
you
me.
didn't?
Not
you
me.
think I'm not rolling up in that thing, right?
Right.
But you skipped the 20-year reunion. You have to wait another 20 years.
Okay, but that's fine. That's fine. But understand.
The BMW will be your hoopty by then.
Yeah.
All right. Money, money, money. We have accusations of a stolen BMW and $20,000 that has gone down the tube. Cheryl gives her list of their biggest fights over the almighty dollar when we come back.
I'm under a lot of stress at this point. I asked Owen for $50 for me to go to the doctor. You would have thought I just asked this guy to finance a car. He just went ballistic, over $50.
And later, why are y'all even almost, sort of, kind of, maybe getting married?
Is this my cue to run? I would always tell Owen, you are so blinded by things. Your children manipulate you, your co-workers manipulate you. You are the only blind optometrist that I've ever known.
I agree.
Because that was Cheryl talking about how her fiance Owen, who ironically is an eye doctor, is blind when it comes to life, marriage, how to treat a woman. Now, their biggest dilemma seems to be over the almighty dollar. Take a look.
When I was in New York, Owen never gave me money for anything, for shopping, to get my hair done. I didn't even have winter shoes. He didn't even buy me a pair of boots.
She was coming to me more and more for money. She suggested, hon, why don't I come and work at the office with you? I let her come. I was paying her $300 a week, but it just still wasn't enough.
That's not even minimum wage. What am I supposed to do with that? I'm under a lot of stress at this point, so now I'm having to go to the doctor on a weekly basis. So I asked Owen for $50 for me to go to the doctor. You would have thought I just asked this guy to finance a car. He just went ballistic, over $50. Owen would say that I am financially irresponsible because he would ask me, what are you doing with your money? And I'm like, you know what you pay me. You're a doctor. It's not hard to figure out. He has lied about me several times. He told people that I stole over $20,000 from him, and that is complete.
The whole stealing thing happened because Cheryl wanted an advance on her check, so she stole $1,300 envelope with my rent money inside. I told her on the phone, you took my rent money, which has $1,300 in it, and I am going to dig into your bra and take my $1,300 back, and I'm going to rip my $6,000 engagement ring off of your finger.
What about digging in her bra? Is that where your $1,300 was?
It's just an analogy that I made.
Oh, it's just an analogy.
Yeah, that I made with my friends.
I mean, at that point, it wasn't much going on. I would have liked that.
Are you resenting the fact that she's costing you money?
I mean, I don't resent the fact, because, I mean, I don't really worry about money. I need to make it...
You don't worry about money?
Wait, hold on. Let me explain. Like I tell everybody, I have a 95% income to obligation ratio. So I need to make money to fulfill my obligations. Once I make my money and my obligations are fulfilled, I don't worry about anything after that. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
You got bills to pay.
Of course. When we rekindled our love in 2012, I had a lot of bills paid off. But then what ended up happening? So many disasters were happening in Florida. So money was just going down. So it's coming from my account, it's coming from my credit card. $4,000 went down in Florida.
You want a working wife?
Yes, I mean, I want a working wife that's going to be financially responsible. I mean, my problem with her is the fact that...
I want a loving, supporting husband is what I want.
Of course, I will give her a loving, supporting husband, Dr. Phill, but understand, from her job in Florida, just got a paycheck on Thursday. Friday morning, she's broke. She's broke on Friday morning. I swear to you, Dr. Phill. I mean, we're going to be honest. We're going to keep it frank. We're going to keep it real.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So you want to say...
So Friday morning, she's broke. So now I have to be in New York knowing my woman has to get to work on Friday. Her gas tank is on E. She's worried about how she's going to get there. She's scrambling for change to do it Saturday and Sunday. And she's flying out to your show Monday with no money in her pocket.
But in the meantime, did I ask you for anything? So if you want to set it straight, let's set it straight, okay? If you want to get real with it, let's get real with it. And you want to say that I'm this gold digger or whatever? Like I said, there was no finances.
I didn't call you a gold digger.
Wait a minute.
Everybody else did. I never said that to you because I love you. I wouldn't say that to you. Right. I would never call you a gold digger. I said everybody else said you are.
I didn't spend money on me. It was on your kids.
Dr. Phill.
I'm asking you for money for your kids. I'm asking you for money to put food on the table to go to the groceries to feed your kids. The little money that you gave me, I'm going to the store to buy pots, pans, and stuff to feed your children. I get $60 from you, and I'm going and buying your daughter a new dress so she can look cute for her first little Valentine dance. So you want to talk about money and being a gold digger, me asking for money? I never asked for anything from me. It was all about the kids and about the house. Tell that. Tell that. Gold diggers don't ask for that for your kids.
All right. Speaking of children, Cheryl says Owen's children, who are ages 11, 8, and 7, have put her through hell. We're going to find out what happened that left Cheryl ducking and weaving and trying to defend herself against his youngest son. We'll talk about that when we come back.
I would describe Owen's youngest son as being Chucky. He's screaming, I'm gonna bring the wrath on you. Okay, little boy, if you wanna bring the wrath on me, bring it.
And later...
She had a ton load of ultimatums in order for us to get married, but it's fine. I jumped through the hoops, I've jumped through all of them, I'll keep jumping through them because I love this woman. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you.
Cheryl and myself did get into a physical altercation after Thanksgiving. She punched me in the back of my head. She kicked me in my back. Those stairs right there. And I stumbled down the stairs.
I did not kick Owen down the steps. I took my foot and I pushed him in his back. So he missed like 2 steps. When someone kicks you down the steps, you fall, you tumble, and you roll. None of that happened.
Well, Cheryl says in the short time she lived with her fiance, Owen, she was hit, kicked, spit on, and cursed out by his youngest son, who she did compare to Chucky from the movie Child's Play, while Owen did nothing but make excuses for it. Listen to this, and then we'll hear from Owen.
When I first got to New York, Owen's kids treated me like... I would describe Owen's youngest son as being Chucky. The 6-year-old hit me with a closed fist. He has called me everything imaginable. Fat bitch, stupid bitch, we hate you. You stupid.
All of this is from a 6-year-old. Within 2 weeks of my arrival, I'm laying here asleep one morning, 6 a.m. He comes into the living room area and he goes to get a movie. And I tell him, no, it's too early in the morning. You're not gonna watch a movie. So he's screaming, I wanna watch a movie. And I'm like, no, you stupid bitch. I told him, go to your room. No, leave me alone. I'm gonna bring the wrath on you. Okay, little boy, if you wanna bring the wrath on me, bring it. So he takes the remote and throws it and breaks the flat screen TV. Owen did not punish his son. Instead, he blamed me. Why did you tell him no? Like, what do you mean, why did I tell him no? It's 6 in the morning.
Okay, your 6-year-old should be talking like that to any adult. Is that happening?
In the beginning, with his emotional disturbance diagnosis and him being so attached to his father, yeah, he was. But that was, it started during the disaster of Sandy, you know,
right.
when I had to go to work and she was watching them.
Did you consecrate that behavior if he did that sort of thing, if he disrespected her or any other adult? Did you intervene?
Of course.
He always had an excuse for it.
No.
Always had an excuse.
Is he hitting her and spitting on her and calling her names, to your knowledge?
When I came home that day, she told me that he hit her and kicked her and things of that sort. And I was like, wow, I reprimanded him. You know, her problem with the situation was the fact that he broke the TV, my TV, and I went out to buy another one in a week. So yeah, I brought another TV, that's fine. I mean, that's my prerogative, isn't it? But the thing is,
so
I reprimanded my son.
With a new TV after he broke the TV?
No, because when I brought the TV into the house, I told him, that's my TV, don't break it again, you can't watch it. So I continued with her punishment, where she told me he couldn't watch TV. He was on punishment for I think 2 months. And to me, that was a little harsh, but it is what it is, because like she says, do not show division. And I did not show division.
Can I ask a question?
Mm-hmm.
Why are y'all even almost, sort of, kind of, maybe getting married?
Is this my cue to run?
Owen and Cheryl are currently separated and living in 2 different states. Will they be able to put their differences aside and finally walk down the aisle? Do you want to get married to her?
There is no woman on this earth that I would take as my wife except her.
Do you want to marry him?
Her pause is for a different reason, because she has a ton load of ultimatums in order for us to get married. But it's fine. I jumped through the hoops. I've jumped through all of them. I'll keep jumping through them because I love this woman. Anyway, go ahead.
Doctor.
Thank you.
Dr. Phill, I do love Owen. I would love to marry Owen, but it is no way I would go into a relationship with these problems.
All I can give you is my opinion.
Thank you.
You're not ready to get married here.
Thank you.
You're not ready to get married here. This sounds like a divorce counseling session that we've been through here, with both of you having a clash of ideas and concepts. And he claims that you want a robot who will just always agree with, do anything you want him to do, etc. You're concerned about finances, trying to be responsible in your business and with your children. But let me tell you something. When you get married, you've got to look at a lot of different points before you do. You've got to go through some serious premarital counseling. You've got to see if you can share some budget ideas. I mean, can you honestly, do you have the same financial philosophies, the same financial priorities? Do you have some compatible parenting philosophies? You know, where are you on religion? Where are you on geography? Where are you on sexual expectations? Where are you with regard to your extended families? All of those things. And the fact is, you just may not be compatible. You need to do some serious premarital counseling. If I arrange for someone to walk you guys through this together, A, B, C, D. I mean, well, you're going to really have some things written out. And you're going to have one thing that will determine the success or failure of what I'm going to set up for you, and that is emotional integrity. If you agree to do it, you have to do what you say you'll do. Don't agree to it if you're not genuinely 100% prepared to follow through. Both of you are getting along fine. You don't have to get married to be okay in this world. This is something you should only do because you want to, not because you feel like you need to.
Right.
And so I'm telling you, you've got to have the integrity. If you make a parenting plan, stick with it. If you make a financial plan, stick with it. If I set this up for you, will you participate in it?
I would definitely participate.
Will you participate in it?
Absolutely.
You'll do it. That's
Absolutely.
our gift to you. We will set that up, and we'll do it. And then I want you to come back here and tell me where you are.
Absolutely.
Okay? Fair enough? All right. I'm going to keep a close eye on you two. Now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Jacob and Lucy appeared on the show in December after their son was hit by a drunk driver and tragically left paralyzed. We'll find out how they've been doing since we last saw them. When my next guests, Jacob and Lucy, last appeared on the show just this last December, their son's life had taken a tragic turn when a teenage drunk driver plowed into his stroller during a morning walk, leaving him paralyzed.
Isaiah's life took a tragic turn last October when a drunk teenage driver hit his stroller.
The teenager who hit baby Isaiah struck and seriously injured the toddler while driving drunk and high on marijuana, leaving the baby partially blind, brain damaged, and paralyzed.
When we finally saw our son, he was lifeless. He wasn't moving at all. It was the worst thing that you could possibly imagine.
I had to stop working and I was taking care of Isaiah.
We didn't have insurance for Isaiah. His bills were well over $1 million. We're still struggling to make ends meet. It just breaks my heart.
Really proud to meet y'all, but I'm really sorry for the circumstance. Well, Isaiah is severely injured, has severe brain damage, is paralyzed from the chest down. He does have to go to the doctor a lot. You two share a car. I think your van's got 200,000 miles on it. Is that right? We would like to present you, Jacob and Lucy, with a second family car.
Thank you so much.
Jacob and Lucy, I'm JP Painter from Hohen Acura, and I'm here to present you with your brand new 2014 Acura ILX Hybrid.
Wow.
Thank you so much.
It's beautiful. Isaiah's gonna love it.
This car is a blessing, it truly is.
Well, Jacob and Lucy say even though they're happy and so grateful about getting their new wheels, the road they are on is still a struggle.
Unfortunately, since the show, Isaiah's had a couple setbacks.
Isaiah had to go back into the hospital. He had to have an emergency surgery. It was hard on us, but luckily the surgery went really well and now he's doing really good.
We were going in the right direction, but you know, this set us back a lot. Since the show, we were able to get Isaiah into an amazing therapy program called Project Walk. Isaiah enjoys his therapy. He's smiling while he does it.
He's making a lot of progress. There's been other children that have had similar injuries to Isaiah that have had a lot of success there.
He was able to hold himself up. He was doing better with his army crawling. Right now, Isaiah's only going to his therapy once a week, but they want to build him up and get him there like 2 to 3 times a week.
It's great, but it's also very expensive. His therapy costs $100 an hour. We still struggle a lot financially. Jacob hasn't been able to work because Isaiah requires 24-hour care. We have to use credit cards to buy groceries.
I had to borrow money for gas and electric. Right now, I'm just trying to figure out how to pay the mortgage.
My hope is that people understand how much damage they can do from drinking and driving.
Okay, well, it's good to see you two again. And since I saw you, you did take delivery on your new Acura.
Yeah.
And that was great, right?
Right.
And handy for getting around, and
Definitely.
it's a wonderful car. I love those things. What's the biggest challenge you face right now?
I would say it's financially because Jacob can't work He doesn't get paid. I have to take days off. And, you know, just seeing Isaiah in pain, it's hard on us.
It's hard to see him sick and ailing, of course. Now, Jacob and Lucy are obviously in debt due to their son's medical care. We're going to talk about managing that stress when we come back. I'm back with Jacob and Lucy, who say since appearing on the show, Isaiah returned to the hospital for 2.5 weeks. The family is barely able to make ends meet. How are you two getting along?
It's been a struggle, you know, because financially it interrupts, you know, relationships, and, you know, it just puts a lot of stress and frustration on us, and just trying to figure out how we're gonna, you know, make that next meal or, you know, get that bill paid, and it's a struggle, but, you know.
And you feel frustrated because you feel like you should be out there working and helping and contributing financially.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you simply can't do that. You two understand what I mean when I say you only think you have problems until you have problems. And it kind of puts everything in perspective for so many of us. And you all know, you two I hope know, that through the Dr. Phill Foundation, we set up the Baby Isaiah Fund for the family the last time they were here. And our viewers have really taken you guys to heart. I mean, they really care about you. And I got to tell you, I have the absolute best audience, best viewers in the history of television, because every time we talk about a story that they look at, but for the grace of God go I, we get so many letters and so much support. The president and CEO of the Dr. Phill Foundation, Mickey Woodard, is here. Hello, Mickey. Mickey, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
Mickey is here, and she is here to present Jacob and Lucy with a check from our viewers for $173,814, which will go into a trust for this family. So, Mickey, go right ahead.
Jacob and Lucy, on behalf of our thousands of very generous viewers who care deeply about what's happening with you and your family and this little baby, I'm so proud to present this check.
Thank you. Now, I trust this will help.
A lot. It'll help so much. I mean, this is a blessing, and I just want to thank everybody and everybody that's pitched in. And, you know, these are the things that keeps us going, because there's so many good people out there, and that's what touches our hearts, and it's a blessing.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Phill, for everything that you've done for my son.
You know, we're excited to be able to help in some small way. And, you know, when you talk about that, you know, he can only go to this therapy once a week, when he would benefit so much more if he was able to go to it, you know, 2, 3, 4 times a week. Hopefully this will enable you and empower you to be able to get him the kind of treatment that he needs, and that's all we want. And let me say, there is still an opportunity to donate to the Baby Isaiah Fund by going to drphillfoundation.org to click and donate. And when you donate money, you give $1, $1 goes straight through to them. There's no overhead, there's no management fees, there's no nothing. So our viewers have picked up the phone, got online, and donated $173,814 so far. And we want to continue to be y'all's partner in helping any way that we can with this, and hopefully we'll see you guys again very soon. I want to thank all of my guests, and a special thanks to our generous viewers. Listen, thank all of y'all for doing this. I mean, for taking the time. You see, when there are millions and millions of viewers, it all adds up. So thank you for contributing to the Baby Isaiah Fund. We really appreciate you doing it. Thanks so much.